So yesterday I told you that I was pretty excited to tell you something today. UPS is supposed to be here any minute, maybe in an hour or so. Should be here, and then I'll disclose it. But to kind of discuss some things, I wanted to go through some things first, give you a little bit of history on my equipment. As you know, I have a Champion 2000 watt inverter generator. And I still think there's a lot of people that don't know exactly what that means. So I wanted to talk to you about it. Now, my generator is really old. This is it right here. It's coming up, I think, on 4 years. I think we're wrapping around 4 years. I use it almost every day. I used it when we were nomads, and I did use it every day then. Except in the wintertime. We went down to Texas, and Texas had a bunch of parks that you could stay anywhere from. Some parks were like 2 days, others were like 7 days. And since it had electric with a small donation fee, we didn't have to use it. I had 2 others prior to this one. They weren't in a suitcase form like this. They were kind of a boxy yellow thing. The first one burned up in the fire. The second one, I left gasoline in it over a month, and the gasoline ate up the carburetor, so we just replaced it because I didn't have time to wait for a carburetor to come. We were on the road, of course. You can't stay that long. Now, the only thing I disliked about this one is it's always had a little smoking problem. It always burned a little oil. The other 2 didn't. Sometimes wonder if that was my fault. Maybe I got something in the oil or something, but it just seems like it's always burned oil. But not so bad that it's been a problem. There was another YouTube channel as a nomad, and he had a generator just smoked worse and worse and worse and worse all the time. This one never got any worse. It has a low oil shut off. When it shuts off on oil, I just change the oil out at that time. It's not been a big deal. I just don't like it. The other 2 never burned oil. Always just fantastic generators. This one's been a fantastic generator. It's done everything we need. But for some reason, I just feel like it's showing its age. So the other day, I was filling the water tank from the well, and it does struggle with the well. I've showed you that, especially in the winter. It's really got to be warm for it to work correctly. And I think the biggest part of it is that low oil shutoff. I think when the oil is cold and that cylinder's in there and it's splashing the oil, and not the cylinder, but the piston, you know what I mean. And so it's splashing the oil, and it doesn't come down fast enough. The low oil shutoff isn't getting flooded. The oil is staying up here at the top and not draining down fast enough. And then as it warms up, it does better. The other day I started up, it was a pretty warm day like it is today. Ran the well pump, I don't know, good 5 minutes or so. It did really well, and it shut off. Normally when that happens, by the time I get back down here, that oil, again, I'm guessing that's what the problem is, drains back down. I can get it started back up, and it does okay. This time it didn't. It didn't want to start back up. I played with it for a while, and I decided it's bad. So I started looking for another generator. Well, then I came back down here and I fiddled with it a little longer. It had oil in it. It really did. So I added more oil. Now, I don't know if the oil was the problem or not. I added oil without really thinking about checking the oil. See, because when you pull the string, a yellow light comes on telling you it's low on oil. I didn't check it. I just added more oil. I should have checked it, but started right up. Well, in the meantime, I'd already bought a replacement. And so I'm going to show you the replacement and talk about it a little bit. Okay, so UPS delivered. This is the new generator. Now, it's a little bit different than all the ones I've had before. This one is a dual fuel source. You can see I got it hooked up to propane right now. So this one was just maybe like $70, $60, $50, $60, $70 more expensive than that one. So as I was telling you, I was worried that one was going out. So I ordered this one. Now, Carolyn and I have been thinking about quite a bit gas prices. What if we run out of gas? What if we can't make it in town to get gas? You know, it'd be nice to have a dual source generator. Now, in the past, I've not been a huge fan of these things for several reasons. One, propane cost has generally been higher than gasoline cost. When you do the math, the generator can run 11.5 hours on a gallon of gas, or it can run 34 hours on a tank of propane. Well, when you do the math, it counts out to about $11 to run it on propane. Whereas I can also run the same amount of time, 34 hours, $11, or $9 right now with gas prices with gas. So I'm saving $2 by using gas is what I'm trying to say. Now in the future that may be different. Gas prices might go up to a point where propane's less expensive. I got papers flying all over the place over here. I want to keep all that together. Right now, propane would just be a backup. Can't make a town, can't get gas, whatever the case is. The other thing about the generator with propane, propane does not produce as much horsepower as gasoline. And it says it right in the instructions. With gasoline, it runs, like I said, 11.5 hours on a gallon of gas. I got my paper right here. I wrote down all the specifications. It's got 2,500 watts of starting watts. The other one only had 2,000. I always said it's a 2,000 watt inverter generator. This one's 2,500 watt inverter generator. So it's actually got more power. Like I said, it was only $70, $50, I forget what it was, more than the other one. But then its running watts is 1,850. I don't remember what the running watts was on the old one. Probably 1,500, I don't remember. So, I mean, it's got more power with gasoline. Now, when you get into propane, the power drops. So the starting watts is the same, 2,500 watts. The running watts on propane is 1,665. Gasoline was 1,850, propane 1,665. So you lose power on propane. Not that you need that much power. I just ran this. I started the well with it. It had absolutely no struggle running the well. Whereas the old generator, it really does struggle because it's peaking out at 2,000. My well is 2,000, so I mean it peaks right there at its breaking point. This one's got plenty of power to spare. But I mean, in the end, it's not. I don't ever run running watts at 1,665 or 18. I'd never run that much electricity. I run a battery charger. Now, when I say that it runs 11 hours or 11.5 hours or 34 hours on propane, that's at 25%. That means it's the econo button is on, and you're not. So like running the battery charger, no problem. It'll run that real easy. Now here's the thing about propane. I say it's $11. That's if we go to town and get propane. The propane refill station's 30 miles away, so that's a 60-mile round trip. So driving all the way out there and driving all the way back, are we really saving money because now we've used all that gas? If I had enough propane tanks, I've got 5, and I use it for cooking, we use it for water heater, we got a little backup Mr. Heater, portable buddy, and then I always have an extra one. Well, now I'll get another one. I always like to have one more than the appliance that we have. So I'll get another one. But if I had enough, and I could go into town, let's say gas prices went up to $4. That means gas now is $12 for the same amount of runtime as a propane tank. If I go into town once a month, and I got enough propane tanks to last a month, it might be worth it, you know, going grocery shopping or something, but we go there so infrequently, I don't know if it'd be worth it. So gas prices would probably have to get up to $5 before we'd actually think about converting over to propane on this all the time. But it's a nice backup. We always got enough propane that if I run out of gas. Now, all this being said, I'm going to run it tonight and in the morning, and then I'm going to fill the tank with it tomorrow. And after that, I'm going to put it away. I'm not going to use it anymore. I just want to break it in. I want to make sure it runs and I don't have to return it for anything, because I'm going to use the old one until it dies. And this one is just to be a backup. I'm sure the new old one's going to die any day now. It could be at the end of the year before it dies, but it's going to die. It's just on its last legs. I will just store this one and put it away. I might pull it out every now and then just to run it, but I'm going to run it out of gas, so that way I don't ruin the carburetor or anything. Now, there's a few features on this I like more than the other one. First of all, it's lighter. This is supposed to be the lightest one in the industry. It weighs in at 39 pounds. Which is interesting because my old one weighed 50 pounds. All the ones I've ever had weighed 50 pounds, so it's very light. The decibel rating is 53 decibels. Now, I looked this up today because everybody talks about how great the Honda generator is. The Honda generator doesn't produce as much electricity as this one. I don't remember what it was, but it was less than 2,000 watts. So that's even less than what my old one was. And its decibel was 57, whereas this new one's 53. And they compare it to a dishwasher. At 25 feet away, that's what it sounds like a dishwasher, which is about right. The control panel is much better designed on this one. You can see on this old one, I put a piece of coroplast in front of it to keep the rain off of it. But on the new one here, everything is sealed up. It's got rubber grommets on everything. The plug has rubber grommets on it. This here, I can buy another generator, and you can buy a link. They actually wanted you to buy it. It's part of the deal. You actually had to unclick it. And then you can run 2 generators together and get twice as much power out of it. Good for RVs. It's got the 12-volt car charger thing. It comes with its own oil. Had oil, came with it, just like all the generators that I've bought. Came with its own oil. Has a funnel that comes with it. And then it came with a USB adapter. I don't know why you'd ever need that. I guess if you go camping. Oh, and one other thing I liked about it, the screws that open up the panel so you can change the oil. On the old one, they fell right out. And so I already lost a screw on the old one. But on this one, they don't come out. You screw them out and they hang into the plastic component here. The downside is the old one only needed 2 screws. This one's got 4. What you got to do in order to get the gasoline out of the tank, or out of the carburetor actually, is you shut off the carburetor. See, this runs a choke, gas, propane, off. You shut that off, then you can go inside and you drain the gas out of the carburetor. And then I'll try to start it, make sure it won't start. That way I know the gas is completely out of it before I store it. The connection for the propane is pretty easy. Pops right out, pops right in. This has a clip on it, so when you take it off, it clips up to the handle here on the generator. So if you'll click this up next box, I'd really appreciate it. I'll take you over to my other channel, get a laugh or so out of the news. So I hope I can inspire you to have backups to your dream. Thanks for watching.